Stock market breaking news alerts. I'm going to cover the latest in stimulus updates, and if you're not subscribed yet, feel free to press that subscribe button. Comment below your own input in regards to the stimulus bill and everything going on here. I'm going to give all the updates that happened today. I'm not going to cover things I covered yesterday. If you want to check that out, check out the previous video, but we're going to hop right into it here. Essentially, today was an interesting thing here. We had basically Trump saying that he's going to offer even more than $1.8 trillion, but so far there hasn't been any updates in that regard. We have an upcoming, kind of a meeting today, kind of a call with Pelosi, where she might give some updates in regards to what her input on all of this is, whether she's going to potentially agree to anything like that. Unfortunately, we had some other news as well, but I'm going to get into that in just a second. But we have all this, this bullish news too from the Fed. They came out with a stronger economy, better market. So there's potentially more funds. I mentioned yesterday with Mnuchin that it was Mnuchin rather that was going to agree to essentially like it was like 300 billion. I believe that he said that they had the spare that they could be utilizing for anything. So this doesn't even need to be a new bill. This could be a standalone with the leftovers in that regard. And they were trying to get something passed. Mcconell and him were trying to get something passed in that regard. Unfortunately, Mcconell over here completely changing his mind here altogether in regards to what he was saying before, where he was okay with the 1.8 trillion and so on and so forth, and agreeing with the go big comment with a Trump. But then, as of today, for some reason, he changed his mind, and now he's saying that he rejects the higher amount for the stimulus and says up to 500 billion is a more appropriate stimulus level. Essentially, they were in contrast to the president's on earlier comments where he said on Fox Business, where he reiterated the go big comment from last week, saying he would up his 1.8 billion proposed amount. Something apparently changed between yesterday and today. Not sure if that's just being misquoted or something like that, because yesterday he was sort of in agreement, but at the same time he wanted to pass something on the smaller bill. He might be reiterating that information, and we'll get a little bit more clarity here at 2 p.m. Eastern time when Pelosi does a little bit of a talk here. And regardless, the market's been kind of sideways red since the open. It's kind of been on a chop. This week started out great coming into Monday, and all this this confusion with the stimulus and with bond markets and things like that. Things have been on a bit of a decline, and since this morning, it's still refusing to break out above a 346. If we get some positive news from Pelosi that she at least is willing to make some kind of agreement at this point, since Trump did technically go up, we might see a bit of an upturn on the market. But if we don't hear anything, my guess is we're going to fade back down into the 344s or potentially lower, and might break out down further into Friday. So I wouldn't be quite bullish yet. We've got to see what's going to happen here at 2 p.m., and that'll give more of a clarity. Right now, the market's trading kind of sideways today. Hasn't had any real breakouts, just kind of waiting on some kind of catalyst news. You got the fund here that pretty much rebounded almost from being down significantly more to now kind of flat on the day. Define is like a defense contractor. You got Boeing, you got RTX, you got LMT, you got Lockheed, and all these, essentially defense companies all paired into one ETF. But in the end, all of that's just waiting and pending on the news of essentially whether there's going to be some kind of stimulus passed. This point, still pending for that airline and PPP bill. Jets had a nice little bit of a recovery. Jets is just an ETF for airlines. So if essentially at any point they do actually finally pass some sort of stimulus, we could see a significant rebound here, probably back into the mid to high 20s. I don't think we're going to see an all-time high anytime soon with airlines, especially after a drop like that in March. But we're going to see how that progresses. The short answer is that the delay now isn't necessarily on Pelosi. Now it seems to be on Mcconnell for whatever the reason he went and changed his mind completely. Not sure if my guess is it's being somewhat taken out of context the way politics are, but I guess we'll see how that progresses. Feel free to leave in the comments below if you feel I missed anything of any updates that happened today that might change things in a drastic way beyond the 2 p.m. talk here for Pelosi coming up with the caucus. Thanks, guys, for listening in. Make sure to comment below your own input, and see you later on. Have a nice day.